Hello. Welcome in. I'm Tammy Mastroberti, best-selling author of the book The Universe is Talking to You, Tap Into Signs and Synchronicity to reveal magical moments every day. And even before I wrote the book, I was always talking about signs and synchronicity, and I was always sharing my own experiences, not just of signs from my mother, but, just guidance, synchronicities, how the universe and my angels were guiding me. And I always got questions from people not understanding, why they weren't getting signs, or not, just thinking certain things that were not possible or that were possible. So I thought I'd come on here because I still get a ton of questions about signs. Some of you are just finding my work, maybe just finding my book. Some of you have been with me for a long time. And so I wanted to come on here and talk specifically about signs and address some of the questions that I get the most. Because I find sometimes people are thinking something that's not true, and that could be blocking a sign from coming in. And so my book, The Universe is Talking to You, is really teaching you how to open up, recognize, and understand the signs that are coming to you from your angels, your guides, the universe, source, spirit as a whole, as well as your loved ones who have passed on. So if you have questions about it, I'm going to answer some of the most common. I'm happy to answer questions that you want to post, whether you're on here live with me or you are on the replay. Feel free to post questions. I'm happy to answer. But I want to start with some of the ones that I get the most often. The first one that I get all of the time is, can I get a sign from a loved one who has just passed on? Do they need, as if does it take them time to get the energy to give a sign? Does it take them time to learn how it works? Are they busy so that they can't send a sign? All these things in our mind, around can I get a sign from a loved one who has just passed on? In my experience, and when I say in my experience, I mean in my own life, in the stories that I've heard from other people, in things that I've learned through interviewing tons of mediums over the years who communicate directly with loved ones who have passed on, the answer is 100% yes. You can get a loved one. There's not a time restriction, right, on when you pass and how long before you can let your loved ones know you're around. So I got signs from my mother. In my book, I talk about how right when she was passing and we had to make the decision to, if you don't know, my mother died from a brain aneurysm when I was 22, 3 days after Christmas. And we had to make the decision, because she was clinically brain dead, to unplug the machines. And so when that happened, I literally went into the bathroom sobbing and crying, and all of a sudden a peace came over me. And I the way I describe it is like someone dumped a bucket of peace over my head, and it just flooded my body. And I knew she was there, and I knew everything was going to be okay. That was like instantaneous, right? I've had signs from other loved ones who have passed on very quickly, whether it be in a dream, whether it be an actual sign, hearing their name, their birth date, something that reminds you of them, something that moves in the house that it reminds you of them, light bulbs flicking on and, flicking off or burning out or turning on all of a sudden when they didn't work. So, yes, don't think my loved one has just passed, they can't send me a sign. Yes, they can. Now, does that mean, that if you don't get a sign that something's wrong? No, because often when a loved one first passes, we are in a state of grief. Whether you knew it was coming or not, you are in a state of grief. It is harder to see the signs when you're in that state. It is easier for someone else to get a sign and then tell you, oh, I heard from your husband, or I heard from your father, or whatever, because they are in a different state than you are when it's a personal situation. Now, having said that, I just want you to know that it is totally possible for you to get a sign from a loved one, and there's no time limit on it. Also, the other side of that coin that I'll get from people is, well, my loved one's been passed for like 30 years. Can I still get a sign? I mean, are they still around to communicate? Are they still around me? Or have they just moved on to another realm? Are they not paying attention? Are they no longer sending signs? Again, in my experience, not true. Your loved one, it does not matter when my mother has been passed more than 20 years at this point now. over 20 years, maybe almost 22, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And still get signs from her all the time. I posted it on Instagram and Facebook in my stories if you follow me. This was just recently, it happened. I was in a Walgreens and I was wandering down the aisle, you know, getting stuff for my stepson for his Easter basket or presents that we're getting him for Easter. And I was wandering down an aisle and my eye turned and I saw like one of those big piles of like fuzzy socks, right? Like those big like knitted socks that have the fuzz inside. This huge pile of fuzzy socks. And right on the top of that pile, now there were random stuff like rainbows and cows and I don't even know. Random things on these socks, okay? The one on the top of the pile was Tweety Bird. And it was a Warner Brothers. Now, they weren't all Warner Brothers, but the one on the top was Tweety Bird, and Tweety Bird my mother loved. Where do you see Tweety Bird, right? It's not like something that you see all of the time. I just want to check and so it's something, you know, it's not something you see all the time. And it stopped me in my tracks. I can't even remember in the past 20 years how many times I've seen Tweety Bird. I mean, just it's not many times, right? And I thought, oh, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's here. And I took a picture of it and I had to share it. And I knew she was saying hello. I knew she was saying hello. And there was things going on in my life that I knew she would be around for at the time. And so 22 years later, right? So please don't think my loved one has been passed on for however many years. I can't get a sign from them. Totally not true. They don't go anywhere. They are around you always and forever. So that's the second question that I get often. Oh, you posted a question in email, Lorraine. I'll have to take a look for that. Oh, how funny, Jill. You stopped listening to my book because you heard that I was live. Yay! So the next question that I get a lot is, can I get a sign from a pet or an animal who has passed on? You know, I know that our loved ones can communicate, but can an animal do that? Again, 100% yes. I have gotten some of the most amazing signs from pets who have passed on. If you go to my YouTube channel, you will find a video that I shot all about a sign that I got from a pet. It was actually a cat that we had, when we moved into the house that I'm in now, we sort of adopted these barn cats that were being fed and we just continued taking care of them. And one of them passed. And literally within hours of her passing, I got a sign from her and it was incredible. And I share that on YouTube, so you can check out my YouTube channel for that. But yes, your loved ones can your pets can send you signs. They can come to you in dreams. They can move things around the house. They can use their names the same way your loved one will use their name. My mother's name is Marianne. Anytime I hear Marianne, I pay attention. I know she's around me. So same thing with your pets. So please don't think that you can't get a sign from your pet who's passed on. I remember when my cat Phoebe, years ago, she passed away, and I got her right after my mother died, and she was with me for almost 18 years, and I just adored and loved this cat. And when she passed, she came to me in a dream, and she crawled up. I remember she crawled up the stairs to my bedroom in the dream, and she came up and put her paws on me, and I was like, you're okay. And she just literally came back to let me know she was okay. So yes, you can get a sign from a pet. And again, please check out my YouTube channel so you can understand and see an example of that. So that's another question that I get a lot. The next question that I get a lot is, how do I know it's a sign from my loved one versus a sign from my angels or you know, my guides or the universe as a whole or what have you? How do I know it's a sign from my loved one? In my experience, again, what I have found is that your loved ones, when they're trying to get your attention, when they're trying to get through to you, will use something that is familiar or similar or reminds you of them, that is either related to or reminds you of them. So their name, okay, your birth date, their birth date. My mother uses her birth date all the time. May 9th, I see 0509, 509 all the time. My foot dialed it once on the phone that I stepped on the floor. When I picked it up, it said 0509. I almost passed out. So they will use things that remind you of them. I have a friend who her father died, and they had a relationship, or they always gave things to one another that had Mickey and Minnie Mouse. She knows, after he passed away, like a whole thing on Facebook showed up with Mickey and Minnie Mouse. She knew it was him, right? So they will use things that are connected to them. Their perfume scent. If they smoked cigarettes, you might smell cigarette smoke. If they smoke cigars or a pipe, you might smell that. They will use things that relate to them. They're not trying to trick you. They're not using Morse code. They are not, they want you to know it's them. So they are going to use things that relate to them to let you know that they are around. That's one of the biggest ways I find that is different. Angels, I find, often will use numbers to talk to us. Again, not numbers that are a birth date or something like that. Your loved ones will use those numbers, but repetitive numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, like certain numbers that you see over and over again that don't relate to something that is meaningful to you in some way. That is more of your angels. That's what I find. But your loved ones will use something to say, hey, I'm there. Hey, I'm around. Hey, pay attention. It's me. You're thinking of them, and then the light bulb. I've had times where I'm talking about my mother and lights have flashed on and off. I remember I was teaching a live class years ago on signs and synchronicity, talking about my mother, and the lights literally flickered on and off in the place that I was teaching. So when you're thinking about them or talking about them and something strange happens, that is how you know, okay, this is my loved one is around. Let me just say, and the questions in terms of it, listen, your loved ones are always sending you signs. You're just missing them. I promise you, they are always sending you signs. I am teaching a class next Thursday, free, as part of the Living an Elevated Existence Summit. I'm ending the whole summit with my class where I'm going to be talking about this, and I'm going to walk you through an exercise to get a sign from a loved one. So if you're not already signed up for that, elevatedexistencesummit.com, just sign up for free, and then you'll get to listen to my class for free. But I promise you, you're just not recognizing them. You're just not present. You're just not realizing it. And most of you are rejecting them. Most of you are getting a sign and questioning it, saying, oh, I don't know, or, oh, well, yeah, that reminded me of her, but, I'm sure that's not, I don't know if that's it. And we talk ourselves out of it, right? We go and we talk to a million other people and we say, here's what happened, blah, blah, blah. And, do you think that's a sign? Vanetta, yes, if you're looking for a sign, you can assign one, and I will walk you through that whole exercise on the live free class that I'm teaching next Thursday. You can literally assign them a sign and ask them to use it, and they will use it. I tell you, I usually say give it 48 hours. And some people have said to me, I didn't get the sign in 48 hours, or blah, 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 and then I say reassign it. I'm telling you, you're missing it. You're not realizing, you're not paying attention, you're not in the present moment. But they're coming, and if you can just open yourself up to it, and stop rejecting them and say, I'm going to accept it, they will come through. So the other question I get about signs is a lot around manifesting, right? So we get signs about, yes, elevatedexistencesummit.com is the whole summit that I've been doing for 3 months, and I'm ending the summit with my class. So the other thing I get about signs is how do I know, or how do signs work when I'm trying to manifest something, right? Because I say the universe is constantly directing you, guiding you, redirecting you when you make a wrong turn, trying to get you to your highest good, trying to get you to the things that you want, trying to work with you, okay? The other side of this is how we're communicating with the universe. And I'm going to be teaching, the class that I'm teaching is how we can ask for help, and then how we can open up to the signs that are coming back. So the universe is always trying to help you get what you want. Part of that is you have to be consciously asking, right? And consciously asking for what you want and being clear about what you want. The other side of that is opening up to the signs that come. So when it comes to manifesting, I'm sorry, I keep putting on my glasses because I want to make sure I'm not. Oh, I'm glad you did the exercise. Your grandmother and your pet sent you signs. I'm telling you, you guys, your pets want to let you know that they're okay. So when it comes to manifesting, how do signs help me manifest? When you're trying to create something in your life, as soon as you get clear on what it is you want to create and you're managing your vibration, right? I won't go through all of it. The universe will use signs to point you in the right direction. It will repeatedly give you the name of a book. It will repeatedly give you the name of a healing modality. Or you'll hear about yoga 15 times in a week and you're like, why does yoga keep coming? Because the universe is trying to send you the signs to direct you to the things that are going to help you manifest. We have to open up to that. So that's the first way that signs work with manifesting, is it's trying to point you in that direction. Also, the universe will try and reassure you. And again, when I say the universe, I'm talking about your angels, your loved ones, your guides, and spirit as a whole. The universe will send you signs to reassure you that you're on the right path. Again, you'll see things in repetition, or you'll see, like, you'll be thinking about, should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? And then all of a sudden you're hearing all these signs about what you're thinking about. The universe is saying, go do it. So, and these are broad generalizations, obviously, but so that's the other way that signs work. The third way when we're trying to manifest is, and many people don't realize this. So let's say you are trying to manifest a new house. You either want a new house, or you want to do work on your house or something like that, right? And you're trying to figure out how to get the money, and you're trying to manifest this change, and you want to buy a new place or whatever it is. And so you're working on this, and all of a sudden now you see someone on Instagram who just bought a new house, or you see someone on Facebook detailing the renovation that they're doing on their house. And now you're aggravated because you're like, why, why can't I get there? Why is this person there? Why can't I get there? Why am I behind? What am I doing wrong? And then we go into this whole spiral, right? In my eyes, the universe is showing you that to let you know it's coming. It's possible. Keep going. Keep going. Because if somebody else manifested it, you can manifest it. We all have the ability to create what we want. We just have to learn how to tune into it. And so that's another way that the universe will, like, sort of put it in your face. And sometimes you think, oh my gosh, I can't look at this, or I can't watch this, or I can't believe this. This is what I want, and someone else is getting it. When in actuality, the universe is saying, like, keep going. This is going to be you at some point. So that's the other piece of that. And then I got a question recently, too, when it comes to manifesting. Somebody had asked, I think it was via Instagram, do signs stop coming once you're close to manifesting? And I had never heard of that before. So what I find is, obviously once you've manifested something, now the universe is going to just direct you to the next thing. But I don't think that when you're getting close to it, it will stop, because the universe constantly is trying to move you forward. It's constantly trying to direct you to where you are meant to go, to what is in your highest good, even when it doesn't look like it, even when it looks like tragedy, even when it looks like a hot mess, even when it looks like every door is closing, no matter what you're doing, this isn't working. It never gives up on you. It is constantly trying to help you, to redirect you. But when we're in grief, when we're in depression, when we're in anxiety, when we find ourselves spiraling in those moments, it's extremely hard to see the signs that are coming. That's why I talk about sort of trying to manifest your vibration, trying to pull yourself out a little bit, and making sure that, you're using your gratitude, you're using the spiritual tools that are available to you, meditation, etc., to try not to go too deep down, because then it's harder to see it. It's harder to see the signs and and it's harder to notice the ideas, or even have the courage to act on the ideas that the universe will drop into your brain. So that's the other piece that I find with manifesting. And so, Deandra says, do you think it's okay to allow our kids to ask for signs from their loved ones? I personally do. The thing about kids is they're so much more open to it than we are. Both my niece and my nephew saw loved ones who had passed on when they were younger. And we encouraged it, my sister and I, because we were obviously very open to it after having lost my mother. We had gone to mediums. We went to this one medium in New Jersey, Conchetta Bertoldi. I talk about her in The Universe is Talking to You also, who literally said, like, your son can see your mother, and just encourage it, and he'll continue to tell you what he's seeing. And so, number one, they're way more open to it. Number two, I was brought up, now I wasn't brought up knowing all the things that I know now, but I was brought up with my mother telling me that my grandmother, who passed when I was 5, her mother, was around me, could see me. She believed in songs on the radio coming on as a sign. She believed in, and you know, we grew up, you know, I grew up Catholic through 8th grade. I went to Catholic school, who believed in that. And so I think I was more open to it because of that. And my prayer is that our children nowadays are more open to it and can be more aware of it, and can have more faith and maybe feel less anxiety and depression and all of the things that these kids are going through today. If they can have more faith and realize they have this, they have their loved ones around them, they have their angels, they can ask for help and receive it, and know that things are going to be okay. So I 100% would encourage children to ask for a sign. Imagine how amazing it will feel when it comes through for them. So yes, I definitely would do that. Yes, Lorraine, I know what you mean. It's a hard one. You feel like the world is just teasing you, like, why in the world? So that's why you have to shift your mindset. So when I see somebody getting something that I have, that I want, or I see someone in a place that I want to be, I look at that and say, I can do it. I'm going to get there. Thank you for this reminder. And then let it go, and don't, you know, and don't think like, why am I not there yet? What, you know, it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole, but look at it as the universe is saying to you, keep going. This is possible for you. You've you're on your way. You're manifesting it. You're further along than you think. That's how I look at that when that comes through. So, these are just sort of some of the biggest questions I find that I get when it comes to our loved ones communicating or you know, looking for signs. And I feel like there's so many more. You guys always have the best questions, and I'll take questions during the live class that I'm teaching next week as well. So just know that there's no time limit, that your loved ones are around you. It doesn't matter how long they have passed away, that this includes your pets. And that, you know, the signs are, you can receive them, even if you think you've never received one before. I promise you, we're going to do that exercise together. You will get one. It happens all of the time. And here's the cool thing. The more that you start opening up, the more that you start recognizing signs, the more that you start realizing they're around, and you say, okay, yes, I'm going to accept that. Even if you still question it, I always say just ask for another one, right? The more that you open yourself up, the more that start to flood in, the more that you start to recognize, and you start thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, how did I live all of these years of my life not being aware of what's around, of all of these guidance and all of these signs that are around me? How did I do it? Because now the floodgates have opened, and now you're in a whole different place, right? So, it's incredible. Oh, I'm looking for glasses, and it was my headband. Dear Lord. I just want to see, somebody said, I had a frequent visitor. I feel that it's a man. I know the smell of cigarette smoke is strong. Do you have any okay, you don't want that. Do you have any suggestions how to figure out what he wants or needs to tell me? Okay, listen, if you are an empathic person and you feel like there's someone around you and trying to get your attention, and they're doing something that you don't like, you ask them to stop doing it. I've seen mediums who are empathic. So let's say they're communicating with a loved one, and the loved one had a heart attack, and they're trying to get through that confirmation that I died of a heart attack. The medium will clutch their chest, and I've seen them say, okay, I get it. You can back off. Like, I get it. You're here, or, you know, it was a heart attack. Like, you know, give me a minute, right? So you can literally say, like, listen, I get it. You're here. I smell the smoke. Can you not use that? Can you use something else? If there's something you want to tell me, if there's something you want, you know, if there's, you know, I'm open to it. Give me some other kind of sign to let me know what it is that you want. And just ask them not to use that. That's pretty much, you know, they're fine with it. They're fine with using what it is that that will get through to you, and they're not trying to annoy you. So again, like I've said, I've seen that many times. Like, or you know, somebody will, like, my mother died of a brain aneurysm, so sometimes a medium will get dizzy and go, okay, you know, please stop, I get it, right? Because they don't want to be dizzy. They're trying to do the reading. That's all you have to do, is just say, can you use something else to let me know why you're here? And, you know, if you have to tell me something else, I'm open to it, but you have to use a different way. You know, let me know who you are, or come to me in a dream, or whatever it is, but just not that. That's what I would say for that. So yes, request better boundaries. Correct. Yes. Yeah. And here's the thing. You just have to ask, you know, if somebody is around you and you're feeling like, I'm not comfortable with this energy, you know, ask it to go. Sage, whatever you want to do. But don't think that you can't ask, and don't think that you can't, you know, say, okay, I get it. You know, I get it. You don't stop blowing smoke in my face. It's choking me, right? Like you were saying in the comment. Yeah, you can totally have that conversation. So anyway, if you want to know more about, not just, see, the communication is a two-way street. So I'm actually working on my next book all about asking the universe for help. My first book, The Universe is Talking to You, is about opening up to the signs and the guidance that's coming. But we also can play a part in that, in consciously asking and consciously taking control of the messages that we are unconsciously sending out, right? So the class that I'm teaching is going to cover both of those, and it's part of the summit, and it is happening next Thursday. Actually, it'll be right after the live next Thursday that I'm doing. So today, this summit, I'm interviewing Julie Renee Doring, who's amazing, and we're talking all about quantum healing, and she's healed herself of multiple cancers, and she's healed herself from being in a wheelchair, and now she helps other people. And so we're going to be talking and I'll be doing an interview with her right after this. So if you want to sign up, elevatedexistencesummit.com, if you're not already part of it. It is the end of the summit. It's gone since January. However, the cool thing is, all the interviews from January to March, I'll be opening and closing for a final replays. So if you missed anything and you're just joining the summit right now, totally fine. You'll still be able to listen to a bunch of amazing mind, body, spirit experts in mind, body healing, intuition, manifestation. And so my class is on Thursday, and that'll be part of it. And everybody has free gifts, and it's just, we've just had a blast this season 9 so far. So I will be live next Thursday here with you guys, and then I will be off to teach the class at 1 o'clock, and it's audio, and you can listen in for free. You can also ask questions in that. There's a Q&A box, so you can get through to me for that as well. And I'm just happy to be on here and sharing all of this with everybody. And thank you for being here and joining me. If you're watching the replay and you're like, wait a minute, I have a question, post it. Post it. Maybe I can answer it. I'll either answer it in the comments, or I can answer it during my live class next week. Happy to answer any questions that you have. I get some of the greatest questions when I teach my classes and when I talk about signs. So thank you all for being here. Know that your loved ones are around you. Know that they have literally never left, even though physically they have left, and that includes our pets. And join me to hear more about it, to ask for a sign. I promise you, please don't think your loved ones are not sending you signs if you're not getting them. It's just that you are not aware of what's happening. You don't know how it works. That's why I wrote The Universe is Talking to You. That's why I teach what I teach, because it opens up your whole world once you start seeing things through this lens. So thank you all for being here. Sending love to all of you. I'm going to go prep for my summit interview. I will be back here next Thursday. Again, continue to post your questions here, and I will see you guys next week. Have an amazing and beautiful weekend. Know that your loved ones are around you. Keep your eyes open for the signs, and I will see you then. Bye, everybody.